Yeah, tough loss for us. We got beat. There's no question about that. In the first half, I thought the offense was moving the ball, doing some good things. We made some good plays. Defensively, we were competing hard and went in at halftime 21-20. And I really didn't like the way our mood was at half. I felt like our defense was down a little bit. The offensive guys were up and motivated. And we didn't come out of the locker room and play the type of defense that we're used to playing here. Fast, physical, everybody playing together, doing their assignment and tackling. We didn't tackle well. And offensively, we weren't efficient enough to be in a shootout. You can get in games like that and your offense plays and makes plays and continues to drive the ball and score, but we weren't good enough offensively to win a shootout at that time. Missed a couple field goals, which didn't help, but they outplayed us. There's no question about that.
You say you didn't like the mood and everything from the defense. Just where did you see some of the other breakdowns where there's 500 yards going against you guys?
Yeah, most of it was our tackling, some assignment errors, and the big plays. And you got to give the quarterback credit. He made some big plays, scrambling, moving around. Threw a couple guys open at times when he scrambled, so we needed to get him contained, and we had him a few times, we just couldn't get him to the ground. But those were mainly the breakdowns. But it always starts with stopping the run, and to stop the run, you got to tackle, and particularly on 1st and 10, they had way too many 2nd down and 4, 2nd and 3, and that really hurt our defense in the second half.
Pass rush just hasn't been bringing the quarterback down. You say you guys got to him, but recent weeks just haven't really seen the quarterback go down. How banged up is that defensive line? I know there's some guys out in the interior, but just what's contributing to not being able to get there?
Yeah, there's no question we're banged up. Payne not being there hurts us a lot. He played really, really well the first 2 games of the year. Had great sacks against Central Arkansas. Didn't even know he got hurt in the second game. He finished playing it, came in the next day and had a torn tricep. So we're not going to get him back. We didn't have Alan Love. Tolliver's been on a bad ankle. Ciale didn't get to play. So we're thin. And when you're thin, you don't stay as fresh, and you don't get to pass rush as much as we're used to doing. We should get some of those guys back. I hope we get Love back this week. Ciale seems like he's moving around better. And Tolliver should be back also. So hopefully we get all 3 of them back at full speed.
Coach, you talked about special teams. Jose Pisano normally pretty automatic, 18 of 19 in his field goal attempts coming into the trip to North Dakota. We talked a lot about the sound and having to use hand signals playing in that dome. Is there anything that throws off a kicker in being in a dome versus being outside, or was it just an off day?
Well, the first one that throws them off is we let a guy come clean on the right side, and there's no question that caused him to hook the ball. Kickers do talk a little bit playing inside in those domes that they're not as tall. The uprights aren't as tall, and I never really knew that. Never even heard about that before, because I guess I haven't played in domes like that, But they do talk about that. I've overheard them talking about the height of the goalposts. We got to protect better. We protect well on the first one. There's no question that doesn't, go through. We've got all the confidence in the world in the snap, the hold, and the kick. But we got to get back on the practice field this week and make sure it's perfect.
Coach, how do you go about doing that? Do you go rebuild the whole thing, or do you try to make it, just a little thing to work through? How do you approach mentally with these guys?
Yeah, you don't rebuild. There's no question about that. Fortunately, my dad's a football coach forever and ever, and he told me if you keep changing things, you never get better. So we're going to try to build on the things we did right the first couple weeks, and then the Arkansas game, and how well we competed out here. But we have to address this. Today will be hard in the meetings. We'll get to see where we're not doing things like we normally do. We're not sprinting to the ball. Offensive line played pretty good. I was proud of them. They competed really hard. That's the most they've competed all year long. Jacardier ran the ball hard and with power. Would have been nice to keep in where you could run more than you have to throw part of the game, because I think him and Latulis are really helping us there.
guys have lost 3 straight, and just kind of looking at big picture now, there's not much room for mistakes now when it comes to trying to make the playoffs and the bigger goals you have this year. Just when you look at, does that change approach going into some games, or just kind of a desperation time at the moment?
Yeah, I think we all understand now we got to play one game at a time. That's all we can do. Take care of this week. This is a tough game. We get another really good team coming in. It's been playing well lately. They struggled early. We've got to come back. We got to, take a lesson from them and see how you come back and get better and play well as the year goes on. And that's kind of the key for us, is to get back and play the type of football that we know we're capable of playing.
Coach, I know you talk about some of the breakdowns on the defensive side of the ball. One of the bright spots could be the play of Vaughn Young. Had the interception, led the team in tackles. What do you see out of that young man? What is he like?
Yeah, Vaughn's been playing well all year. He's really understanding how to read the run game now and how to attack it downhill. He's extremely fast, so he does a great job against the pass. It's great to see him, get the interception and, up on that board now, whether we move him to fullback or not, because the way he ran with the ball after it.
What did you see from Jason? Better game than what he had against South Dakota State, being able to bounce back?
It was better. He did it, he got the ball around and got some really nice touchdown throws. He missed a couple, for us to be in a shootout and go. There was a couple of plays out there that could have made the difference, whether it was his read or something flashed in front of him and he couldn't get the ball out in time. But that's when I said we weren't efficient enough to keep scoring every time we had the ball, and it wasn't just Jason. It was, receiver route here just a little bit off, or things like that.
Are there any similarities between what happened this past week and maybe the Youngstown game a year ago, where you guys went on the road, gave up a bunch of rushing yards, and just kind of had some breakdowns that way? Anything similar?
A little bit similar defensively. Some of the things that we're used to doing that we didn't do in the Youngstown game, and a guy not doing his assignment here, a guy not doing that, on the next play, not having the same energy and speed that we normally play with. So hopefully we bounce back like that. I thought offensively we were more efficient in this game than at Youngstown, and we looked like we got into a rhythm and run, pass, quick pass, get the ball out. I like some of the things that we did. We just weren't able to, 61 plays, 31 points. We got to work a little bit better together, get the offense more plays, and go score every time you get the ball.
Where have you seen the Salukis improve since the beginning of the season?
Yeah, defensively, I think is where I see it the most. They're got their secondary guys that were new, now understanding what they're doing and playing fast, and they do a good job getting to the ball and tackling. They're rushing the passer better than they did in the first couple games. So we've got to do a good job in our protection there.
Coach, how important is a win this weekend just to get back in those winning ways that you guys were at the beginning of the year, and confidence-wise for the guys?
No question it's important, and makes you feel a lot better too. These are hard weeks. This is a challenge. It's not only, that you didn't win and you feel bad about not winning, but it challenges your attitude, it challenges your work ethic, it challenges some guys that haven't been playing. How are they going to go with their attitude? So basically what we have to do is come together as a team and make sure that everyone's on the same page, and then we get back and do the things we know that we can do.
Is this week ahead here, where you talk about today's going to be a tough day with meetings and everything, is this kind of a good reality check for your team, good character check, should I say, for your guys?
Yeah, the problem is this is 3 in a row. That's the problem with that. So no, we got to get it. We got to get it straightened out, get moving, and go play really well, and find a way to win the game. That's something that we've always talked a lot about. Is you're going to be in tough games. They're going to have plays. We're going to make plays, but we've got to have the strength, stamina, and focus to be able to find a way to win the game.
Seems like Nick Baker, the quarterback for SIU, has been really efficient here in the last couple of weeks. Just what has he done that's impressed you?
Yeah, he's getting the ball out of his hand. He's got a really quick release, and his decision making has been on time, and he's getting the ball out of his hand on time, and he's always capable of making those throws. It seems like we've been playing against him forever, but he's a good player.
Passing attack more than a running attack?
They're pretty balanced, you know, they run the ball for more yards than they throw it for, I think. You know, that's what they want to do first, or I guess they're giving the ball more handoffs than they are calling pass plays. But they can do both. They got, you know, real good receiver we got to deal with, tight end who's capable. The tight end who had a great game against North Dakota. So they've got weapons. They've always had weapons.
Remember last year in Carbondale when you guys played them, they had a really good first half getting after Jason. You guys were able to clean that up in the second half. Now that you have a good week from the offensive line, just what's it going to take to build that consistency to make sure that's not a unit we're asking about?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, just I think the communication, you know, understanding what we're going to see from them, the alignments that they use, the movement. This is a defensive line that's going to move a lot. We handled it really well in the second half. We handled it well in the spring season. We didn't handle it so well in the first half of the game. But we did come up and make plays. You know, we got to get back to making plays, everybody making plays.